Spears is hard at work promoting her new book the only way she knows how. Naked photos, cringy dance moves, and references to the Illuminati. But don't worry, I'm taking one for the team. I actually started reading Britney's new book, and no lie, I got 2 pages in before I had to set down the book and just laugh. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't busting out with laughter, but it was a light giggle. Because I'm reading the first couple of pages and I'm just sitting here, almost in a state of disbelief, wondering why anyone in their right mind would believe that Britney actually wrote this book. I mean, the woman that puts together incoherent Instagram captions on a daily basis. We're supposed to believe that she's in her new book writing about historical facts about the Civil War. Yet that is what is contained within the first few pages. Historical facts about her hometown. And I can guarantee you that Britney probably does not even know what the Civil War is. Now, I've known for a long time that Britney was not writing this book herself, that someone else was writing it for her. But at the very least, I thought that Britney would be there hands-on the whole time. At the very least, I thought that maybe Britney was sitting down, telling someone what to write, and they would write it in a way that people could understand, because Lord knows we cannot understand anything Britney says. But reading the first couple of pages, it almost feels like something that was written when Britney was not even there. I find it very hard to believe that Britney provided any of the details within the first couple of pages of this book about her, her experiences growing up and about her hometown. But of course, we got a lot of book to go, and hopefully the rest of the book is a little bit different. Now, this first chapter is all about her grandparents. And basically, this first chapter is her painting out her grandmothers on both sides as victims. She goes into detail about her grandma on her father's side. Her grandma winded up losing a child. She suffered from mental health issues. Her grandfather tried to help her, tried to get her some mental help, and she winded up offing herself. Now, of course, the way it is worded, it's worded to make Britney's grandfather look like this evil dude, but the way I'm reading it is, Britney's grandmother had mental health issues. She no longer wanted to be alive. She lost the desire to live. She was trying to off herself. So her grandfather did whatever he could, got her grandma some help. Maybe it wasn't the help that she needed, but we know that things were different back then. But ultimately, her grandma winded up offing herself. Now, the way they word this, like I said, is to paint out Britney's grandma to be this victim and to paint out Britney's grandfather to be this evil dude. And they're trying to pretend like men putting women in mental health facilities runs in the family. But that's not something that can run in the family. A man putting a woman in a mental health facility, that's not a genetic trait that you pass down to your kids, that you pass down generation to generation. You want to know what is a genetic trait that you pass down? Mental health issues. So what's honestly more likely here? What's more likely? That all of the men in Britney Spears' family, they always put women in mental health hospitals? Or is it more likely that these mental health issues are passed down generation to generation and that mental health issues run in the family? I find it kind of funny because they want, if you're approaching it with a victim mentality, you're going to see things in a totally different light. And most of the people coming into this book, they view Britney as a victim. They don't view Britney as a human. That's the difference between me and most of Britney's fans. I view Britney as a human. They view Britney as a victim. So when you're coming in with this victim mind state, you're going to look at things in a totally different light. But if you come in non-biased and you approach it from a common sense standpoint, it's obvious that mental health issues run in the family. No, locking people up in mental wards doesn't run in the family. Mental health issues run in the family. So I don't know if this was her attempt to be like, hey, look, in the past, people did this to my grandma in the past, just like me. It was a sign of what's to come. When in reality, I'm like, oh, okay. Now I know where you got your mental health issues from. They were passed down from your grandma. Now it also goes into detail about her other grandma on her mother's side and paints her out to be a victim as well. Now, she wasn't thrown in a mental health facility, but she was a victim of, having to actually raise her family and take care of her household. Britney's other grandma came from London. She came from over there in England. And in this chapter, they try to make Britney's other grandfather look bad because he lived a humble life on a farm in America. So Britney's grandma had to sacrifice daily fancy tea parties and living an extravagant life of shopping and sitting around drinking tea in order to raise her kids and take care of their household. So basically, they try to paint out all the women in the family to be victims. Of course, they don't paint out Britney's mom or her sister to be a victim. No, they're big bad wolves. They're all evil. But Britney's two grandmas are painted out to be a victim, just like Britney in the first chapter of this book. And it's kind of nonsensical if you ask me. I'm not going to sit here and feel bad for a woman because she had to raise her kids and she could no longer, live a life filled with tea parties and shopping at fancy stores in London. But also, Britney reveals that is where she gets this British accent. The British accent that Britney uses, she got from her grandma. And we know that Britney has created this alternate personality where she talks like a British woman. And, Britney's fans seem to think this is normal. I think this is batshit crazy that you can't have a normal conversation with Britney Spears because she pretends that she's from London and she talks in this crappy British accent. And you know that she's kind of loopy, but everyone pretends like it's cute that a 40-year-old woman can't control herself and runs around pretending to be a British woman, from London that has tea parties in her living room surrounded by dog poop while spinning in circles. So the first chapter of this book, I can already see where this is going. I'm kind of disappointed because I have studied Britney's writing over the past year or so. I know how she types. I know the way she talks. And I was hoping that we would see it kind of transferred over to this book. So at the very least, we could know that, okay, Britney had something to do with this. But reading the first chapter of this book, there's no indication that Britney was even there when this was written. And I'm wondering if the rest of the book is going to be the same. But I'm going to keep reading. Let me know what you think about all of this down in the comments. Oh, wait. I do want to say this. There are some things that are revealed in this book, I guess. I mean, it was already in the tabloids about her grandma, but this book is kind of revealing secrets. Now we know where Britney got the mental health issues from, and we know where she originated this alternate personality, and this British accent. They both came from her grandmas. One of her grandmas was put in a mental health facility. The other one had a British accent, and Britney combined the two to form the ultimate British. I don't even know where I'm going. I don't even know where I'm going with this, but basically Britney picked up two traits from her grandmothers. On one side, she picked up the loopy craziness, and on the other side, she picked up this British accent that she still has not let go to this day, and she's in her 40s. So there are little secrets contained in this book. I find it surprising that none of Britney's fans are talking about this and instead they're talking about Justin Timberlake. But it is what it is. I'm going to keep reading. Let me know your thoughts down below. Please, for the love of God, if you're feeling generous, drop a super thanks, because it's going to take a lot of effort to power through this. It's not a lot. It's easy to read, but it feels kind of pointless. I'm not going to lie. But let me know your thoughts. Hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'm going to do my best to remain sane while reading this book.